Namaste again, and thank you for joining me here for the All Access Pass Part 2 today here with Ilona Selke. And I want to thank you for really making a difference in your life and taking charge by making sure you learn more in depth. I've promised you that I will be talking to you here about a technique of how to shift around a negative situation to create sometimes even dramatic time-space jumps. But I want to tell you right away, because you were so incredible and took this step, I'm going to make you an offer I'm only making to people who are watching this. I didn't make it to all the free access people, I'm making it to you only. And that's a $100 gift certificate off the Living from Vision online course that I will explain to you later. But if you are interested, this is where you want to click through to my sales page, where you learn how to manifest. I will give you some steps here. I will teach you step by step how to walk yourself through a negative situation so you can create a positive, transformational experience and a blueprint within yourself which creates a change. So let me give you a little story to illustrate this. In the book where I co-authored with Jack Canfield and a number of other authors, the book is called The Big Secret. I wrote about a story which is exemplary about the fact that we are living in a holographic universe. See, the book that I'm writing right now called Dream Big, the Universe is Listening, and I do hope you're listening first to the free interview and then join me here. The Dream Big, the Universe is Listening is talking about the fact and teaching about how we interact in this big hologram, and how our consciousness is interacting with the universe, and that the universe is listening to every single nuance, every single subtle thought, feeling, vibration within us, and guiding us to become an ever greater blossoming being. And how we can start being bigger beings, truly our divine self, living our destiny. It's one of our speakers, Suzanne Wagner, will be talking about that, how destiny and free will interact. And I'm going to talk to you about a specific technique, and I'll walk you through it step by step. So I'm telling you the story that led me to write the chapter in the book, The Big Secret, with Jack Canfield as the co-author. So I'm sitting in an airplane. I'm going to teach a seminar with my husband in Florida. We're teaching on how to swimming with wild dolphins. It came about of my 1,000 of our research with underwater experience with wild dolphins that we had. We lived in Hawaii, we researched dolphins. We moved to Hawaii to do this research with wild dolphins, to see how big their consciousness is, how much vaster their capacity is to know things at a distance, telepathically, to connect with us, and how to heal. So if you're interested in those, I have written books on that. One is called Wisdom of the Dolphins, and the other one is called Dolphins, Love, and Destiny, all at Amazon, ilonaselke.com. You can just Google it on Amazon. My name, Ilona Selke. So I was on the way, and we were just about to have to land in Washington, D.C., and we were going to shift over to fly down to Miami and then get a car down to Key West and had to start the next evening. So here we are in the airplane. Thunderstorms are building up. The airplane is bumping. We're circling. We're thinking we're going to land. And we were in the 777 where they have the map that shows you how we're going to land in Washington, D.C. anytime now. Suddenly, an announcement comes and says, well, we've been circling here for half an hour and we're not being given permits to land because of inconvenient weather. We have to reroute to Baltimore. Now, Baltimore technically is only an hour away by car, very close by. So we're rerouted to Baltimore. The pediatrician next to me says, oh yeah, right, it happens every summer. I've been on this flight so often. He was on a lecture tour and told me that every time this happened, he sat there, he had to go fly to Baltimore, unload his luggage there, be shipped to Washington, D.C., try to rebook on a new flight to go wherever, and he said, you'll never make it, forget it. Just might as well, when you land, just reschedule everything. I said, dear God, there is no way. And at the time, I was reading the book, Time Shift. So time shift is the concept that we are living here in a holographic time fabric with consciousness, and that your consciousness determines the outcome. Even the future can determine your now. The thing is, we not only have one future, we have multiple futures available to us. So you and the future, the most likely future, are in touch right now. Tangents are set by who you are now and the future that's talking to you. But if you want a different future, you can get in touch with a different tangent of a different outcome and have that future, you and the future now, set up communications. Outside of the normal time-space concept, everything is from a higher perspective and one dimension to be looked at, like time-space becomes a plane. Much like when you're high enough, you see the entire Earth as a ball, a platform, really. So I sat in the chair and I thought, okay, dear God, we need to be on time. I cannot afford being late for the seminar. And I envisioned, we'd land in Washington, D.C. I envisioned how I shook hands with Don and said, wonderful, we made it, we landed, and I really felt one with that future, which was different than the future the doctor was holding next to me in his mind. We land. I turn to Don. Congratulations. The announcement comes. Welcome in Baltimore. What had I done wrong? And I couldn't believe that the future I knew was there didn't happen. It's like something went wrong. God, what did I do wrong? And God immediately talked to me and said, you congratulated yourself too early. You shook hands with Don before you got the message. Remember, you were supposed to do that after your success. That's much like people going shopping on credit cards before they've got the money. Little hint there. So, congratulate yourself after the success. All right, I got it. I firmly believe by now of 25 years plus experimentation, 30 years, of shifting time, space, consciousness, reality, how our consciousness with God unifies, and how everything becomes a sea of potential, that nothing is written in stone until you set foot on it. And I wasn't going to set foot on that tamarack. I said, to God, I need to be on time. I have a real dear need. I really need this. God knew I meant business. You know, when you have a wish and you don't really need it, well, God goes like, well, you really need it? Come on, let's see. But when you really tell God you need something, like Viana with her theta healing technique, she had cancer. She tried all the techniques, and when she said, God, I have 3 or 5 kids, I can't remember, and I need to live, God listened, and she was cured instantly. That's what she was teaching. She said, talk to God. Make God some demands and say, you need it, but you have to feel it. You can't fake it. So I needed it. God was listening. Gave me the answer of what to do. Don't congratulate yourself before the future has arrived that you anticipate. So I said, okay, but you have to get that feeling where you become the time capsule manager. You become the shapeshifter of time-space. In the moment where you shift into that, the coordinates of the time and space you wish to occupy, you have to emanate it, you have to feel it, you have to vibrate it. And the way I feel it is as a feeling it all through my body, through my spine. And it's like zzz, zing. And I took that little nagging feeling that was like, oh God, can I? And I said, what do you really want? Where do you feel it? And I have this dark feeling. And I take it and I go, oh, dark, fearful, contracted, like a big stone. Step number 1, I told you what to do with negative things. Talk to it. Find out where you feel it. It's in your energy system somewhere. And you will become a holographic vibrating energy field where the vibration of every cell of your being, the beliefs, the genetics, the future, everything is swirling, and your choice, the choice you make in that moment, cuts through all this and eliminates all other possibilities. Now, when you come to a dark spot, you go, what do you really want? You feel it, you see it in color. I give step-by-step instructions, for example, in many of my books. You can read it, you can download them even for free on my websites. I said, what do you want? I want to be, and then whatever it is, like be on time, be there, be fulfilled, be in that future. And you say, thank you. Because unless we address the fear, the darkness, the whatever contracts in us, it still is in there holding the reins and blocking the flow at that level. So if you give it a chance, listen to it and talk to it and say, okay, transform this vibe, this energy. Okay, what do you really want? I want to be on time. I want to be radiant. I want to be this illuminated God angel walking in perfect time, perfect place, perfect everything at the right time in the right place, and do the right thing and be of service. Whatever it is for you, put in your blanks. You get a picture, you will get a feeling for what it is you really want, whatever it really wants. And you say, okay, how would that look like, feel like? And you go like, and you would flow and you would feel it through your body. See, the technique is going and integrating your energy body and your feeling through your body system. We're not eliminating the cell structure, the emotional body, the mental structure. We're making use of it. So you go inside, you feel it, you ask it what it really wants, and you start sensing for what that would feel like, look like, and be like. You realize that the darkness, the fear, whatever it was, is your ally now. It is the jumping point from which you can create a better future. It just told you what it wanted, right? So you thank it. And at that moment where you thank something, it's like it's no longer your enemy, it's like your friend. You go, thank you. It relaxes. It's like, I've got a friend. She loves me. And I go, wow, thank you for wanting something so beautiful like that luminous outcome. And you ask it to now become part of the solution, the new energy. It's like, would you be interested in becoming that? And it's like, yeah. It becomes one, you imagine it becoming absorbed, transformed, and what you have left is this new glow. So what you've just done is created a new blueprint within your own energy field. You've taken the blockage, let it become part of the solution. Your new you vibrates this blueprint. And okay, so now I want to go be on time. I feel this blueprint, I know it, I feel it, I see it, we're landing in Washington, D.C. Yes! Congratulate Dawn as they tell us we're landing in Washington, D.C. Now, mind you, it wasn't my very first time I tried an experiment like this. If it had been the first time, I might have doubted myself, but I have done, after 30 years of practicing, enough time-space jumps where I go like, if something is needed, it's needed, it's needed, and I want to be there in that future. And that hologram exists now. The futures are ours to choose. All you have to do is get yourself ready to be vibrating at that frequency, whichever is permeating that reality. So I permeated that reality frequency in my here now, sat there. And when I think back of the story, and I wrote this up in the book, The Big Secret, and the steps to take, like refocus. Step back from something that isn't working. Step back and say, wait a second, time out. I didn't like that outcome. Can we do that again? Like, camera, stop. I'll want to reenact this. Let's do this again. Okay, God told me not to congratulate myself before something is done. Thank you, God. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I'll do it better now this time. Take 2. I'm in the future fulfilled. I'm getting it. I'm there. I'm sensing where I really want to be, and I'm igniting other people in consciousness, and here it is. I feel it. Thank you. And it was so strong. It was like all there was. That future had become me now. And there is this, I always say the speller bees have the ability to know when they've spelled something really right. It's in their spine, it's in their core, it's in their bones. Whatever it is for you, you will have some sense in you that says, I'm on. This is it. This is true. Yes, all my cells are saying yes. And I happen to feel that in my core spinal column. Said yes. Lo and behold, the announcement comes on. Excuse me, madams, gentlemen and madam. Excuse me, I have just been informed that we had actually landed in Washington, D.C. They thought they had landed in Baltimore. Even on the 777, the reroute had happened to Baltimore, and my busy doctor next door, doctors next door. I mean, I had to go against the sound, the voice of science. He said, look, we're going to Baltimore. On my little, we have these little screens in front. He was pointing it out, just like, despite the best proof of the fact that we were rerouted, despite the voice that had announced we already had just now landed, I reshifted my reality and took a step back, looked at the situation, looked at what I really wanted, checked any part of me that was not in alignment, asked it what it really wanted, aligned that energy. And Dr. Vern Wolf will be on our summit, who I met in 1989, who taught me this technique, and which we've integrated in the Living from Vision course. And we have an app with guided imageries walking you through this. So I've worked with this on a daily basis. So this is like my bread and butter, my breath. And I live with this in my consciousness. So needless to say, when that moment came when I really needed a miracle, it happened because I practiced it, and I know that we live in a shifting universe that listens to your consciousness. And if you really need something and you're pure and aligned, it will happen. It will part the waves before you. And I have to smile. I'm just flashing on the fact that we were... I'll finish this story. I'll tell you another little blip. And this is like how it applies in daily life. So, needless to say, we landed in Washington, D.C. Everybody clapped. We're like, wow, a miracle. I had actually, and I wrote this also in my book, in the story there, I bartered with the universe. I said, in case there's somebody who really needs to land in Baltimore, so be it. I surrender. Maybe I need to be here and meet somebody. Who knows what the higher will is. But just in case there isn't such a plan, and look at the fact that United, well, it was on a United flight, will have to pay all the rebooking fees and everything. And the doctor next to me told me it'll be next morning because the flights to the south will be overbooked. They will take all the other people who've already booked who are on time, and the ones who are delayed, they get the ladder seats and the empty seats. And he said it won't ever happen. I said, look, this is such a rat's tail that wouldn't it be so much nicer for United and for everybody if we had this easy? And in my own funny way, the universe agreed with me. And I did say, if you have another idea, please go do it. It's important for us to surrender to the divine will, because although we are co-creative, who knows from our limited perspective what the true and right choice is. So always, always, always bring in the prayer, the begging, the asking, do your will, please. This is just really the best thing I can come up with. But if you've got another idea, let's do that one. So we got out. We got into our flight to Key West. Well, Miami first, then we drove down to Key West. We started our seminar and swam with dolphins. And let me tell you, dolphins can read your mind. Dolphins have healed. I've gone swimming with handicapped children with them, children who had not been talking forever, being able to talk after that week of being with wild dolphins. A girl that didn't hug anybody, was so socially afraid, was hugging everybody again. One girl wouldn't ever leave sight of adults. And after the seminar of swimming with wild dolphins, she was able to be left alone in another room to make her own bread, feed herself. She then took lessons with horses because they decided horses are equally sensitive. And so if you want to find out more about dolphins, on my webpage, ilonaselke.com, I have a blog just about dolphin stories. My book, Wisdom of the Dolphins, is available. Dolphins, Love, and Destiny. It all talks about dolphins' higher consciousness and how you co-create reality. So why I was smiling earlier, Moses parts the waves. These are just subtle, small little ways where I didn't even make a big deal of changing anything with the universe. It was like this. My husband and I were going to celebrate his 60th birthday, that was 2 years ago, in the Grand Canyon for 2 weeks. Now, we were going to be in these little rubber rafts, paddling, and somebody who had invited us said, oh, it's no problem. You just paddle along. It's really nice, And after I'd signed up, I got this piece of paper that said, well, we don't guarantee anything, and loss of life, can't claim anything back. I mean, you just signed out on off. I got scared. And I'm like going, God, what did I sign up for? Maybe I should stay home. And, I just like went like, no. I literally used the image of Moses parts the waves. It's like everything is easy. The ocean will be easy. They had, so they said, wild rapids where you drop off like meters depending on how high the water table is at the time. And they had just a huge amount of rain the week before, and I'm like going, oh no, I'm really, despite the fact that I swam a lot with dolphins, I'm not really a water person. I like looking at it. Like right here, we live on an island in the Northwest Pacific, and in our retreat center in Bali, I live right on the ocean. I like looking at it, but I don't like to be too much in it. I kind of like get my feet wet and then I paddle on the board. But dolphins made me jump in. Waves, deep, wild ocean. And they said, come, meet us. And they had messages. The dolphin world is so magical. It will call you if you're called. So we arrive on the day that we're going to start on this Grand Canyon journey for 2 weeks, and then we had one kid in there, son of a major Hollywood film producer who's done every big film, and he said, oh, I've done this river so often. Oh my God, there's this one rapid, you just go nose diving down, What did he say, 30 feet? Something outrageous. And I'm like going, okay, we need a miracle. I'm like still having Moses. You know what they had done? The night before we arrived, one person had jumped out from the crew, couldn't make it, so they were short one boat for passengers, and they usually had 4 people in a little dinghy, and they decided that instead of another dinghy and another person that they couldn't find, they got this big rubber raft that was like a Cadillac. 6 of these tied together with a motor on it. So 6 of these dinghies worked as a raft for all and everybody's camping equipment, and we got these cots to sleep in instead of on the floor, and we had glamming. We were glamping. So Don and I got sit in this Cadillac. I did the thing with pumping my water out of this little dinghy and going over these little rapids, and they were enough for me and my sense of adventure. And it's just this assumption that before we went, I had this, I'm at the right place in the right time, I'm guarded, guided, and protected. And then I come there and it rearranged everything to where this feeling that I was anticipating to have manifested itself, and we sailed through these rapids. We had people turn their boats. We had people fall into this frigid, cold Colorado River. I mean, I'm just so glad that I had my big Cadillac. Don and I were like meditating and in this light. I was like in bliss. So the anticipation of what you expect of your future sets a resonant factor up with you. And your future sets up everything to coordinate with the tangent that you choose in the here now. So, where is your big dream? Where do you want to go? And like I said, money is not necessarily the way to get there. It will follow. If you follow your dreams and you say, look, I need $1 million, it'll come. So first you'll find millionaires in your field, then you start actually having more and more incremental steps towards your goal, whatever it is that makes you sing, makes you shine. That is the right thing. For some people, it's about painting. For some people, it's about taking care of children. For some people, it's about being silent in nature, radiating large energy fields of silence, poetry into the universe, dreaming peace in different parts of the world. And what I'd like to ask you is now to not only focus on you and your life, but let's do something that I'm also calling us to do in a number of moments throughout the summit. Pick a subject that really interests you, where you feel the planet, our earthly evolution, our human evolution. It could be wars, it could be plastic, it could be renewable energy, it could be free energy, it could be It could be that you want to live in a universe where teletransportation is possible. You visualize and empower yourself to be there. Hold on to that. I chose this for a year to be in a world where we found the solution to plastic, and an anaerobic something would be developed. And every Saturday I did, for 15 minutes, I visualized a solution coming alive on this planet that will flourish and help us, not in a linear matter. You know, they say plastic will not be digested for another 100,000 years and will take so long. Well, when we find the right answers out of the thin ether, the future is already there where that problem has been solved. And we can be in a future where that problem is no longer a problem, where whatever it takes to create a clean future, where you see yourself stepping onto clean ground, clean ocean, clean water, comes true. So I want you to be part of the team here at the summit. Dream big to create a better life for yourself and the future, where you envision the current situation and where you would like it to be, and then sensing that the solution is already manifest. You draw it out of the ethers. Maybe it's over here. It's already there. It's already there. And I did this, for example, 1 year with plastic, and said, there is a solution. There will be something that digests plastic. A year later, I heard the news. The transformation had happened. They found an anaerobic bacteria that is able to digest plastic into its original carbon molecules that then digest as like compost would. Now, another thought I'm holding is free energy. Now, I realize free energy requires that you or I or whoever lives in it vibrates at another level of reality. And this planet, and I'm talking to you from that state, vibrates at multiple levels. There isn't only one reality out here. The reality that you occupy with your consciousness is the reality of a particular vibration of a reality on planet Earth. For you, miracles can happen depending on where you choose to live. You tune in, you hold that, you make that a permanent prayer. Now, of course, we come and go. I'm not one thing, but I have sort of a baseline. And I go between my baseline and my upper limit, up and down. And I know how to get to the upper limit, and then sometimes I hit it and I go, my universe starts shaking. Too many miracles. I can read everybody's thoughts. I just know too many things in advance. It's a little much. I feel like out of touch with life. I go like, let's make myself a little more normal. And then, for my normal is other people's heaven. So it depends always on who's below you and who's above you. So create a focal point of where you want to vibrate in between and rise to the height, come back down, rise back to the height, and slowly but surely you amp up your baseline. And when you do that, set goals to where you'd like to be. The world I want to be living in with you is a world where we have access to free energy, where we draw plasma energy, that's our next step in evolution, out of the ethers. And we actually, because of that, I've been around people who do that. I've seen experiments proving it. There are, as we speak, in the production form of creating this accessible, not only for individuals, but for countries. So this is just 3 months ago that I physically was witnessing it, and we were in the lab, we were in a demonstration, we watched it, let me say, when you want to be somewhere, it may take time to convince all of you to rise to that new vibratory reality where those miracles you expect to be normal are normal, but that reality exists. You have to allow it. Now vibrate to that new place where there is peace around you, and that emanates to not only you, but everybody if you need be. Allowing everybody to play in their own sandbox. There may be a vibratory planetary reality where that isn't the case. Maybe those people need the lesson. Wherever you walk, everything you touch, everybody you inspire can start co-vibrating with you in a vibratory reality where those miracles are happening. We are not living in one planet here. It's a holographic universe. And the planet has equally many vibrations as you can dream of. So when you vibrate with anger and fear, you are in a certain vibration field. If you vibrate with love, increasing love and lightness, and with the awareness that your consciousness is the honing factor to communicate the higher source into being, and that's where you anchor yourself in, those are the miracles that become commonplace. So hold the vision for whatever it is that really tickles your fancy, because God is waiting for you to open up to it, to look back at it, to go to the source and say, I'm here, I open my heart, and let that love affair evolve in your heart and your soul with God, and let that light ignite you to become a source of inspiration and a gift to other people on this planet, if not even shifting to the place where all the other people around you live like that in their norm. And that's the reality that I can share with you now. Thank you very much for joining me here in the introductory talk to the summit, and I hope you'll have a lot of fun listening to all the amazing speakers who will talk about body, mind, and spirit, and how we shift in all these aspects to a higher level of being. Namaste, and join me on my sales page that I promised you for the Living from Vision course if you want to take this to the next step. Remember, I'm only telling you this, only the people on this path get this. I never make sales on my webpage ever. So there is no Christmas sales, there is no holiday sales. Only to people from the summit. They get the $100 off coupon only within the time period that I am on here now. My assistant is setting these all up. So you will be offered the $100 discount. So the course will cost $147. And that is a 5-week course. It goes through 5 different aspects of how to tune into higher dimensions, work with your guides, your higher self, your purpose in life, learning how to transform problems, setting up your ideal self, and exercising each week a different component. And from that symphony of practice, you will see magical results. I've had people who were, numbers of people, who were at the bottom, didn't have money, were unemployed, take the course, actually be on payment plans or somebody gave it to them, took the course, took a coach oftentimes, but sometimes just did by themselves and walked through it. It's online, it's yours forever. There's no expiration date on it, so you can then repeat it. So they did it once. They started writing books. One lady wrote one bestseller, then she wrote another. One lady became the angel expert in Germany and is now in front of thousands of people constantly since then. This is like 15 years ago that she did the course. She told the world, everybody about it, how to take these steps, and she told people to take the Living from Vision course. We have people in China taking this course. Chinese are amazing, I tell you. We are amazing beings. So whoever you resonate with, that's who you see. So if you want to change who you meet, change your vibration. You will create a miraculous world. One woman was the one, Daniela, who's now Ayurvedic, has her Ayurvedic clinic near Bali on Lombok. Amazing woman. She was sick for 17 years, permanently. I mean, like chronically, couldn't do anything. Did the course, re-envisioned herself daily, healthy, strong, making money, having a life. It took her a few years. Couple of years, then she met an Ayurvedic doctor who did all the right medicines. She took one step after another. Now she runs her own clinic, works with him on Lombok, and has transformed her own life. She is a woman who's helping other people heal. People who were wheelchair-ridden, told to not be able to walk, have taken years sometimes to envision their goals, and now taught 50 people how to not have an operation but to grow their own vertebrae with their imagination. Walk, I came and then swam with our dolphins in Florida with us. Utilizing the power of the mind, utilizing some nutrition and going, this nutrition is going right here, building these building blocks so that I can stand up straight and live my dream. So I'm asking you, whatever you want to do, take my freebies, do my free app, envision your day daily, or read my books. You can get my book at ilonaselke.com. If you see there, you see a number of offers. There's one that takes you to the Living from Vision page, where you get a free download from my Wisdom of the Dolphin book. And all these things are tools you can then glean from them what to do, how to transform your mind. If you want to, and you have $147, get the course. Do it over and over again. Set your life up and fly. I leave you with that. Thank you very much for having been here and making a life that really matters. Thank you very, very much. Namaste.